For real old school laughs, you're in for a treat because we've got them right here. Flip City Magazine. Remember Mad Magazine? Then it went woke? Well, don't worry. Flip City has no chance of going woke. That's right. 4 times a year, you'll get an actual printed magazine full of jokes, stories, comics, and more, all about today's pop culture, entertainment, and woke politics. Flip City takes terrible entertainment trends we love to hate with hilarious parodies of Lord of the Rings, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, Star Trek, Hunters, and more. Trust me when I say there is nothing else like Flip City on the market. So subscribe today. It will be delivered in print, or you can even get it digitally if you're one of those wacky Zoomers. Either way, follow our link and sign up today, and if you put in midnight, you get an extra 10% off. Check out Flip City Magazine today. It's time! That's right, time for Midnight Tech After Dark. Welcome, everybody, once again to the show. We have the Canadian Karaoke King, Mr. CC Karaoke, with us today. How you doing?
Doing all right. Went skiing because apparently the season's still going. We're still getting some snow. And now I'm just laid back with a drink and looking forward to some mead.
Excellent. We also have with us Mr. Price of Reason. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a quiet day, but I'm having a good time.
Glad to hear it. We also have with us the one, the only, Clobbering Silver Surfer Times.
What's up? It's surfering time. I mean, clobbering, surfering, silvering. It's just time, okay? It's just time. Trust me. Hello, everybody.
Welcome. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And I don't know if anybody else will show up, but you never know. But let's say hello to the chat. We got Brad Young here. We got D. Bud Martin swinging around a wrench, along with Goddess of Whim I saw here as well. Hamdinger is here. Lombardi 1969 is here. Alex Moore is here. Picasso is here. Doug 1985 is here. Jeremy Winfield's here. Davina Duckworth is here. Davina Duckworth, yes. Phoenix Knight 8 is here. And we also have Alex Baldwin's trigger finger, just in case you need it. And no, I wasn't on the can, but we were listening to Talks. He was, or Clobbering Times was having a bit of an issue with the old trolls on X, and he was talking about it. That's why I said Talks. I was thinking of X.
I fought with people on X today. I forgot about that. So maybe
it's a day that ends in Y.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Sorry, I was just saying.
No, but I did. I seem to have gotten into weird arguments. I don't want to say the names of the people, but sometimes you run into some person and then it's like a beehive. I don't know. Suddenly I just get all these weird responses. I must have kicked a beehive of sorts, if that makes sense.
But yeah, we're actually, speaking of X, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just got to say, we're actually broadcasting for the first time on X.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I go
Right on.
That's cool. Yeah, finally.
It's just become a pretty successful streaming platform. At least that's my impression. I see people having a good crowds over there all the time. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So
the only thing I'll say is that I wish. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of new. So sometimes when I see it, I don't know if people are interacting the way they do on some other platforms. Each platform is different. But definitely there's a lot of people on X, so it's not a bad idea.
I've been doing it the past few weeks. It's cool.
And have you
I have the chat and everything up over here in case they do. So we'll see. So I'll try to acknowledge people as if they come in there. But
if they chat, you can see it. If someone says something at you, you can see it in the StreamYard.
Yeah, it's supposed to show up in the StreamYard. I just haven't had any. Maybe I should try it and just test it.
I don't get it very often, but it does. So yeah.
Oh, it does. Look at that. Look at that.
There you go.
Wow. Look at that.
Nice.
Wow. That's cool. Cool. Cool beans. Speaking of cool beans, Goddess of Whim sent us a super sticker. Thank you so much, Goddess of Whim. It's a little Shiba dog farting hearts. They probably smell like sweet tarts. I bet. Thank you so much for that, Goddess of Whim. Have you guys heard the new single that's taken the nation by storm?
Mm-mm.
The new single?
Yeah, I guess it's an AI song.
Oh, I heard that thing. That was crazy. It's scary. It's scary that that's an AI because that sounded pretty much like an old 50s record.
I love it. Sing on blue. Like the fucking I was this song last day.
The sad thing is, this sounds better than a lot of stuff on
It is.
AI. It's really scary.
I'm blacking up my butt. Oh.
This is how AI should be used.
Oh man. No, I wish. I fucking wish. The best part is I hear them again. So it's not the first time. That's my butt. Oh. It's inevitable. Blacking up my butt. Oh. It does. That's not grandma.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
It's amazing. I'm sure that they wrote the lyrics, but
But the sound of it, it sounds like a legitimate song from the 60s.
it does.
I love the part that they're like, "What did I do?" I don't know. That sounds so exactly what would be in that song. That the people are answering him is just so old school.
And I can't stop. I've listened to it just nonstop for like the last day.
It's good. It's good. I heard it earlier a few times.
I had to do MEAD radio just so I quit listening to it. I almost played it on there, but I'm like, no. But Obscure Vinyl, I think, is the name of the channel that's from, something like that. They're a small channel, but they're gaining a lot of subs, obviously, from this. They've got a few different songs. There's one called like "Quit Jizzing in the Hot Tub," and some other ones like. I'm gonna.
You happen to know which software do they use to make?
No, I don't know.
Because this is really good.
Good question. I think they wrote the lyrics, right? Like clearly, there's no way an AI didn't come up with those lyrics. But like you said, they just plug it in make it like a '60s, Motown song, basically.
Right. The question is if it's an AI that has a bunch of different Motown that sound like kind of like this one, or it's really each time something different.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try to grab the link for everybody. I'll throw it in the chat later, so in case you're wanting to know where we got that from. That's hilarious. Yeah, check their channel out. I'll get the link for that. But we got some news to talk about. The cancel pigs are coming after Sylvester Stallone. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We got Billy Dee Williams, who's on a countdown to getting canceled, I think. We'll talk about that. And maybe we'll talk about some Star Wars stuff. We'll see. I see we got some more people coming in on the X side of things. Awesome sauce. Says there's 112 views on there already. Cool. I don't know if that means steady viewers or just people that clicked on it, but indeed, Snow. Indeed. A song a mother could be proud of. Maybe Suno AI, says Red Dawn. I'm sure you would probably know
that's the
better.
one that I hear about. Suno.
CC would probably know better than anybody on the panel anyway, as far as like what are the better AIs for that stuff. Yeah, I've been wanting to look into some of that stuff myself. Just kind of see what I can do. So I can come up with some goofy shit.
I haven't dug into like actually like music creation, but for music separation, I mean, like, yeah,
right.
It's literally called Ultimate Vocal Remover, and it's free because somebody did it like to give it away freely.
Give it away now. Speaking of somebody who looks like a member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nick Mazza in the house.
Hello. How's it going, dudes?
How you doing?
I'm doing. I had a bowl of Reese's Puffs after a very, dude, the Easter
old
one,
school
the bunnies. Yeah, I went
going old school.
I went traditional here. Yeah, it was really good. Brought back memories when Reese's Puffs was new.
Fat Tom does Motown. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go, Penguin. You're going to jail, no matter how much you beg and cry to the symphony.
Oh, I love it.
I guess you say, what can make me smile this way? My Joker.
Oh, I thought you were saying my cat.
My cat woman.
Or cat woman. Just as a flow on sync.
Anyway, enough of that shit. Actually, you're right in time. We haven't even started the show yet. We were just singing about gluing our balls to our buttholes.
Whoa. Oh, and I missed that? Oh,
you haven't heard the song yet?
I got my balls to my
butthole again. What did I do? Yeah, that's a great song. Well, I'm gonna play the whole thing again. Oh, and see, D-Bud, look at that. He already went and got it for us. Thank you so much, D-Bud. I want to see how much because they had like 8,000 subs yesterday. Let's see how much they've grown. Oh, there's almost 9. Surprisingly, they haven't grown much more. But I think it's because people are sharing out somebody else's tweet instead of actually sharing the
song.
But I went to their YouTube channel, found it, and I've been sharing the YouTube video. So
they just announced something. I think right now they just announced it. I don't know if it's interesting. It's just kind of weird. They're going to give George Lucas an honorary Palme d'Or at Cannes Film Festival. So I guess they're giving him like some kind of, I don't know if it's a lifetime achievement thing, but
sounds something like that.
It sounds like a big, but the good thing is, I mean, at least they're giving it to him solo, not to him and Kathleen Kennedy, like they did a few years ago when they tried to give him a joint prize for Star Wars, which was really embarrassing. At least these guys are just giving it to him.
Well, you know what'd be interesting, and this is just me purely speculating, if one of the things that Bob said to George to kind of get him to side with him was,
yes,
we're going to add you back to the legacy.
Oh, I think, and Bob has contacts at the Cannes Film Festival. Isn't that where they premiered the Indiana Jones thing and they got the whole,
I believe so, last year,
fake thing where people clapped and stuff? Probably picked up, I bet you're right. He picked up the phone and he said, you got to give George a special event. Everybody
we'll make sure that you're acknowledged, basically. Waltman's in the house, sends in 499, says, wait, have you seen IGN's review of The People's Joker yet? No, I have not, but I'm aware of the movie. I know what you're talking about. Let me see if I can find it here. From 4 days ago, says, for those who don't remember, this is the lesbian version of the Joker. It's a satire of the Joaquin Phoenix movie. Yeah. The first words we hear from Vera Drew and People's Joker are, as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a Joker. It's a play on the opening of Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas, but writer, director, and star Drew is also riffing on the way Todd Phillips aped Scorsese's King of Comedy. The visual presentation with Drew wearing an outfit similar to one of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker getup is also a deliberate reference, which of course traces back to the supervillain who's been around for more than 80 years. That this list of gags and allusions could go on for an eternity, rolling up the whatever. They enjoyed it. It sounds like.
Wait, it's actually called The People's Joker?
Yes. Yeah. Remember, Warner was trying to sue him to stop it, but they obviously couldn't. It's all about being trans.
When is it not?
One explicitly mimics that of Arthur Fleck. The People's Joker complicates expectations by dropping a trans coming-of-age tale into a handcrafted version of DC Comics' sandbox. After all, this Joker starts off as a depressed kid in Smallville, hooked on Smilex, a reference that just keeps piling up. Thanks to a mother who worries about them saying they were born in the wrong body, the character moves to Gotham and becomes the leader of the anti-comic. See, I was even confused there for a minute. I thought there was a group of people or something here, and then they said them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, that's the problem with fucking changing things. Well, what the fuck? Go away. Saying what you're born around body, blah, 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 blah. Funny men and women. Nothing in between. Absurd. Da, 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 da. Yeah. That sounds dumb. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what else there is to say about what it sounds exactly like what I figured it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for the heads up, Walt, man. And you can ignore that movie just like you have every other woke piece of shit. So there you go. Especially when people like IGN are giving it a good review. Truth Hope Love sends in 10 and says, I was wondering about your thoughts on Blackfist. Seeing Billy Dee Williams' story was definitely interesting. Well, as you see in the title, we're going to get to that. I suppose we could just start there if you guys wanted to on that note. Let me bring up the video here because this actually was on the Bill Maher podcast. And I'm not the hugest Bill Maher fan in the world.
Yeah.
But I kind of like this podcast that he does. And the reason I do is because it's in a really kicked back, laid back setting. He's usually he and the guest are stoned and drunk, so they say a lot of shit they probably shouldn't. But they get real honest.
Is it?
Go ahead.
Do you know if it's independent? Like, is it under the umbrella of a corporate ownership, or is he literally just doing it on his own?
Bill's own thing. It's on a different channel than his real time and stuff like that. So I completely independent of that other stuff. If I'd have to take a guess. But yeah, so he had Billy Dee Williams on, or has it coming in an upcoming episode, or just dropped it. And here's the clip that is making the big news.
It was hysterical. I loved it. I loved it. But see, I love that kind of stuff.
Yes, big asses. Who doesn't?
No,
I know.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay,
but here's the thing. Today, I mean, they would never let you do that.
why?
Blackface?
Why not?
Because
You should do it.
that's maybe that's your point of view.
You should, if you're an actor, you should do anything you want to do.
Thank you. Finally.
Yep.
Finally. Somebody with some balls to say it.
I've always liked him.
You want now you knew why. Now you
know,
do.
but there was something always very likable about Billy Dee Williams. He always just seems like a cool guy.
He is.
Funny how it's the Ernie Hudsons, the Billy Dee Williams, the Denzel Washington. It's something about the older black men. They have the best like statements on these things.
A buddy of mine were walking by him at a con a number of years ago, and my buddy he was walking through there, and my buddy yelled at him from a few good bit away. He says, "Colt 45," yelled, and he turned and looked and said, "Malt liquor," right at us.
You know why I think that some of these more OG actors they have such a cool vibe and such an interesting approach, because they actually got to where they got with merit. They legitimately built careers based on real talent. Now, I'm not saying I don't know how to get out of this nicely, but I think that in all the recent years, there's been such an obsession with all this kind of check boxes that I think a lot of times they choose actors that maybe are just whatever. That not every actor is the best actor. These guys really built something, and I think at a time that it was much harder to build these type of careers, they broke through all these type of ceilings or whatever you want to call them, because they really were so talented. And today, I think that if you go to them and start talking to them about the color of their skin or anything like that, it's like an insult to them. Why would it matter to them? They built these careers. And I think that's why when you see Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington, Billy Dee Williams, Ernie Hudson,
another one. He's another one.
I don't feel like any of those guys want to dwell on all this kind of political identity politics and stuff.
I would have thrown Sidney Poitier in there if he was still with us. I think he'd be feeling the same
I
way.
agree with you.
Remember when he went to the Oscars back when I think it was when Halle Berry got hers or something. He gave a speech. He was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, and he thanked all the quote unquote white people that employed him over the years. He singled out white people.
Wow.
Well, and I think that Billy D and Louis Gossett Jr. and Sidney and Morgan and Denzel are all actors that are in a certain category that they rise above their color. Right? They didn't.
And they grew up at a time when there was a lot of discrimination.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They didn't.
Isn't that ironic?
They rose above the thug roles and the
that's
they third best friend roles or whatever. Yeah, I mean, Billy goes on here, and he could have even said, "Fuck, I was in Star Wars," as you'll see in this next part, but he doesn't even bring that up. But what they're referencing here, because the beginning of the context is missing here, is they got on the subject somehow of I want to see the whole interview. I haven't got a chance to yet. But where Bill Maher brings up where Laurence Olivier played Othello in blackface, basically, and stuck his butt out. And that's where Billy D's like, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. So that's where they started. So anyway, he's got more to say on this here.
That's a great point of view, but the theater would be bombed.
I mean, Muni and I used to talk about this all the time. Muni was the one who was the first person that I worked with in those years who said to me, if whatever, as an actor, you should be able to do whatever you think you can do, you should be able to do it.
But again, not to bring up your sore point, but you actually lived in a period where you couldn't do that, where you couldn't play the part you should have played.
But it didn't matter. The point is,
and that's a great attitude, but it still did happen.
Of course it happened.
Okay.
I mean, but the fact is that you discuss it. Anybody can talk about it, means that it wasn't happening.
But I mean, and Paul Muni comes from an era.
You don't go through life feeling like
Paul Muni,
I'm a victim.
Correct. I couldn't agree with that more.
Yes.
I'm just.
I mean, I refuse to go through life now saying to the world, I'm pissed off. I'm not going to be pissed off 24 hours a day.
And you shouldn't, because of all that pussy you got. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, that was funny.
You're a very sick person.
That was funny. I'll give Lamar that. That was funny. That was funny.
I mean, he's right. Billy Dee Williams is in a class on his own in a way.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I mean,
not even close.
I love the response here. This is a lot like what Raven Simone said to Oprah. I don't remember the exact response, but Oprah had said something to her about being a black actress, and Raven Simone's like, why can't I just be an actress? Right.
Yep.
And stuff like that. And the whole African-American and black thing. And she's like, I'm an American. That's what it was.
They tried
something like that.
African American. Yeah.
They wanted to cancel her for it, I think.
Yeah, they did want to cancel
Oprah's an evil creature.
Oh yeah, she is absolutely
a horrible human being.
It just saw what they tried doing the same thing at the BBC. He said, I just want to be an actor, man. Like, why do I need to be attached to this at all times, everywhere I go?
Well, and Billy could have brought up that a lot of different things, right? But he didn't. He just kind of brushed what Bill said off, right? He didn't even give it that much weight. He's like, yeah, you can talk about it, but it doesn't matter, right? At the end of the day, that he could even come around and said, well, what's the difference than it is now? I could not have done it then, but turn around and you can't do blackface now, Bill. Right? Like, that's the point. Why not? Why not? I should be able to do whiteface, whatever. Fuck it. One of the greatest SNL skits of all time. We've talked about a million times.
Yeah.
The Eddie Murphy white man skit. And he knows it's all satire. Duh. He's in on the joke. He gets it. It's not like it's an actual fucking thing. Right? Like,
he then does it again.
Michael Jackson did whiteface pretty well. I was okay with that.
He does it in Coming to America, and I never was offended that he did a white person in Coming to America.
He actually did a Jewish dude.
He should do it again.
And he did it really well.
Yeah.
Aha. Aha.
I mean, it's a very stereotypical kind of New York one, but it's funny. I mean, even the ones that were black that he did were also stereotypical New York ones. The one at the barber shop. I mean, those characters. He did at least two, 3 characters in there. No,
you ain't met no Martin Luther King.
What it tells you about Billy Dee Williams that he came from an era where there was a lot worse things going on. It shows you how past it he is. Like it's like, yeah, he knows that these things happen, but he's not letting that weigh him down for the rest of his life. And it shouldn't be as something because people keep saying they want to end these things, but I'd make the argument that they don't want to end it because without it, some people don't even know who they are. For some of them, it's their currency. Some of them, it's an extension of their personality. And for some, it's the grift, as we like to say, a word that's a little bit overused, but in this case, I'd say it's perfectly valid. Billy Dee Williams just probably sees that this is all silly. Let's just kick back and have a laugh. There's clearly no malice that's behind when these things happen. It's just things happen for the show. Sometimes it's a bit weird and wonky, but overall, let the show be the show.
Yeah, and of course, this is making the big news rounds. So it'll be interesting to see how they try to cancel him about this. Because they're totally missing. I mean, obviously, the headlines don't give you any of the context, right? So.
Done by design.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything to say about Mr. Billy Dee Williams before we go to the chat?
He's awesome.
He is.
I've always liked him.
Yeah, he's awesome. He always was.
Yep. Yeah, he's probably looking at Hollywood going, this place is getting worse all the time.
And they ruined his character in Rise of Skywalker.
Yes. Well, not only did they ruin his character in Rise of Skywalker, they ruined him in Solo.
Oh, God. Yeah.
This is which one of the main reasons why I'm like, how when people are like, oh, Solo wasn't that bad. It's like, what are you fucking talking about? If you could actually see it, first of all, it looks like somebody smeared shit all over the lens. It said through most of the movie. But secondly, what they do to all the characters is some ungodly shit.
The truth is that because all the other stuff, when you look at The Last Jedi and you look at Solo, somehow Solo doesn't seem as offensive as The Last Jedi. But it's also not the bad either. I've seen it maybe once, and that's it.
I mean, I'm just talking about the people who are like, "Oh no, it's actually pretty good. It's not that bad." I'm like, "What fucking movie did you watch?"
Atrocious.
It's not great. It's not great. That's for sure.
Oh,
like, first of all, like
it's awful.
The whole Solo thing. Oh, you're by yourself. Okay, then your name is Solo.
That's great.
And then they gave the name's bad enough, man.
Yeah, that's bad enough. And then the whole thing, basically, they have him go through the exact same arc he does in A New Hope, which is dumb. And then you have Chewie, which, I mean, God, they make him a fucking monster. Yeah. And it's like, don't even get me started on the Kessel Run. I actually thought that was like either something completely different. Let's just put it that way.
And they cast that little pipsqueak, little hobbit dude to play him instead of the guy that everyone thought should play him, which is kind of good, I guess.
Alden Reich or whatever.
Yeah, I guess in a way it's probably better they had a lousy casting because the movie was going to be trash anyway. Why waste a good actor?
Why waste good money on?
To be honest, that Alden Reich actor is not a terrible actor. He just shouldn't have been cast in that role.
Just bad casting. I didn't know about his acting.
It's bad casting, but he's not a bad actor. To be fair,
he's probably not. You might be right. The thing is, I believe that, Price, and that's the thing. Yeah. It just goes to show you. You can be a good actor, but still not be the right.
You can be miscast
actor for the role. It could be. Thank you. He
was in Oppenheimer, and I thought that he acted well opposite Robert.
He's fine in everything else I've seen him in, pretty much. Even Cocaine Bear, as bad as that movie was,
he's probably the highlight. Aside from Ray Liotta, he's probably the highlight of acting in that movie. And
I mean, he's doing with what he's got to work
with. Play the bear? Did he play the bear in that?
No, Liotta did.
Oh, good.
And there's like a Coen Brothers movie about Hollywood. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I heard he was in that. Yeah.
He has a small role there, which actually I thought he was really good in that movie. I feel like if you give him a good screenplay and good directors, somebody can do something with him. This thing with Solo, it was always going to be a crappy role because nobody can be Harrison Ford, and everybody knows what Harrison Ford looked like around that age. So,
well, and that's why they should have brought that kid in. But I mean, Klobby or whoever said it's right. The movie sucked anyway. But that's where they should have went that route with Indiana Jones. They should have just cast that kid as a younger version of Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
is what they should have done.
I forget his
Because
name.
we've already gotten used to a young Indy, and then that could have also set us up for just recasting the role down the road and making it more of a Bond only set in a certain time period kind of character.
Right. Exactly. I agree with you.
Because I think we're there in some alternate weird universe. After Indy 3. A different actor came in and took over the role like 10 years later, and we've gotten more Indiana Jones adventures, and we should be on like our third Indiana Jones by now, right? We should be having that conversation. Well, which one was your favorite besides Harrison?
Right. We should have happened that one.
I agree.
I used to absolutely 100% disagree with that my good friend of mine was making the argument. Now, you won me over. They should have done that, but
because they destroyed the character, Clobby.
Ford should have done about a few more before that. Then they should have,
Probably. Like they should have had at least one or two more in the 90s and then turned it over to
and then you can do it, recast
somebody else.
People will treat it like
the trilogy is so good. I mean, if they weren't going to do more movies on the level of 1, 2, and 3, then it's probably best was to just recast at a later point and just do a different thing.
Well, my least favorite Indy was Kevin Costner, but I thought Chris Pratt was pretty good. At least he was better than
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, no. The one time Kevin Costner played, that's in my headcanon. One time Kevin Costner played it in between Chris Pratt and the guy from who does the voice of Rocket. What's his name?
What are you talking about? When did Kevin Costner play Indiana Jones?
It's a joke in my alternate universe head.
I'm like, I must have missed something.
There's the one movie he played him in between, and then that was it. One time. It just happened once. What the hell's his name? The guy who does Cooper, Bradley Cooper. Yeah,
Bradley Cooper could have been a good one, I think.
And I'm trying to remember who the other one I always pictured who could have been another Indy, but anyway.
And Cooper.
Well, Pratt would be the main. Pratt would be the one now. Like Pratt would be the new one, like in the modern day.
Yeah, fair enough.
But then Bradley Cooper would have been just before Pratt.
If they had done that,
I think Bradley Cooper could have done a better job than Pratt. Pratt is sort of I like him, but I don't know if I like him for Indy.
I think I would like Pratt over.
This is all my headcanon, though, just so you guys know. Like this is like just in some alternate universe.
Let's say they'd done that. Like let's say Ford had done about at least 5 movies total, then turned in the mid-90s, turned it over to Costner. I'd have been that guy going, oh God, I don't like him.
That's why it only lasted one movie.
Like he does a couple of movies and I'd be like, I miss Ford.
And Costner was actually never meant to be in the movie. He was just they were just trying to get Harrison in, and he called their bluff, and they ended up putting him in my headcanon. That's how it worked, right? Because from that moment on, shit happened to where they couldn't get Harrison back, and then he just got old, and they're like, fuck it, we're just going to keep recasting it with young men, and that's where Bradley Cooper, and then
I'm just saying if they'd gone that way, like you're talking, I would have been, oh man, I hope they get somebody after cause. I'd have been that guy that, like people do about Sean Connery, and I'm that way about Connery. I'd go like,
well, that's what I was kind of comparing it to.
I like
that one
Roger
time.
Moore, but I'm just saying,
what was it, Lazenby or whatever, who only played him once or whatever?
Once, wasn't big on Lazenby.
Same kind of thing. That's what I was thinking. Is you'd have just that one time where shit shifted, and then after that, it would be. Like 3 Bradley Cooper movies.
We'd be fourth one now. You're probably
it would be on like the 3rd or 4th one now, but
Yep, and we'd have
anyway. That's in my alternate headcanon. Also, I'd love to just see get back to Billy Dee. I would love to just see a blaxploitation version of a young,
they've ruined Lando.
They ruined his character.
I don't care how people always like to talk about what a great actor that kid is. Fine, but it was the writing.
That doesn't mean
fine. It's not his fault. It's fucking writing.
I'm not blaming him.
Yeah, he was fine as a young Billy Dee Williams. He's got the panache or whatever you want to call it, but it's just making him a queer fucking robot fucker is what made it weird.
Oh, dude, the response to that was absolutely awful. It worked.
I love how people tried to argue that that's not in the movie. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? She literally says it.
Like, that's not a Mandela effect. It's there. Go put it on right now. It's there.
Or it's not reading into anything is what I'm saying. Like it's totally there. Like they talk about it. It's in one of the scenes.
They
the Phoebe Waller-Bridge character says, because the one girl or whatever guy or whatever asked, I don't remember who asked it, but they're like, how does it work? And she's like, it just works.
Doesn't talk back.
Yeah. Where do you stick the dick?
In the fleshlight.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Well, thank you, Truth, Hope, Love, for getting us onto that, because that was one of our main topics for tonight. And then he comes back with saying Billy Dee like a heartthrob back in the day. Oh yeah, I've even made the joke that Billy Dee was one of those men that even, you know, a lot of white women liked. So like it wasn't even like a racial thing then, right back in the day. He was just considered a sexy man. Period.
I was bummed when he got killed in Nighthawks.
See, he's been in a lot of flicks. People forget about that. He was a pretty prolific actor for a while. There was a reason why he was picked to play Lando. It wasn't the other way around. It was not like Lando made him a star, right? He was picked because he was a star.
Yeah, it was the second Batman villain that got race swaps too. He was Harvey Dent.
And everybody was more like, "Where's Billy Dee Williams?" when Tommy Lee Jones took over.
Yeah, yeah. Because light right at the light of the lawn that nest of vipers, Commissioner Gordon. Make Gotham City safe again for decent.
Tommy Lee Jones. That is one of his worst performances ever.
Because someone said, I guess he didn't know anything about the character. And they said,
no.
Yeah, he said, I saw Nicholson. Let's do it like that. So
from what I had read was that he was trying to compete with Jim Carrey, but yeah.
But he played Two-Face like the Joker. And then and Carrey played Two-Face, Riddler like the Joker as well. They were just doing Joker.
I saw him more as doing Frank Gorshin on crack.
Yeah, I think he was being jokery. I mean, yeah, I hear you, but you know, there's some distinction between the characters in the comics and the movies. You know, not. So
I at least believe that Jim Carrey watched the old Batman series and knew enough because when he's playing Edward Nygma, especially, like it's his own. Like he kind of makes that his own. But once he veers into the Riddler, I see where you're coming from with the Joker stuff. But to me, I felt like he's just channeling Gorshin and just adding cocaine
to the mix. He claimed he wouldn't even talk to Gorshin when he came on the set, they say, but I don't know if that was true.
I don't know. I have no... It's possible. It may be just because he didn't want to... It's hard to say. Jim's a weirdo. That is something I do know. Like, I've heard so many stories about him that I'm sure he... I don't mean like...
That he is.
I mean...
No, I heard it.
Like, even when he played Andy Kaufman, he was Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah.
It's too bad, too, because what's his name? Tommy Lee Jones could have been a really good Two-Face if he were written like Two-Face.
He was trying to compete with the comedy of Jim Carrey, though. That's the thing.
Well,
you got to remember,
Tommy
Lee was put up in a movie with the biggest actor in the fucking world at that point.
Yep.
Because people got to remember the timing.
The director, Joel Schumacher, shouldn't have allowed that. He should have said, you got to play him right. But they didn't write him that way. That's another thing. I don't know if that was, I mean, you know more about that kind of stuff than I do, Tom. Was it Tommy Lee Jones constantly? Was he changing the character to be that way, or did they write him that way because they're idiots?
No, I think that was pretty much the way it was written. You can blame that on fucking Kurtzman and or not Kurtzman, but
Alex? No, I mean, who was Goldsman?
The other guy, yeah, the guy who was working on Trek, Akiva Goldsman. He was one of the writers on that.
And Joel Schumacher.
And that was the rumors that those guys were brought in. Well, Akiva was brought in to make it more funnier or whatever, because it was originally written for Michael Keaton and as a straight sequel to Batman 2.
Yeah.
And that's where it all come down to. They had to get Tim Burton out of the mix because I think they were contracted with him. But he even said that he had gotten into a meeting with Warner Brothers, and about half hour into the meeting, it dawned on him. He's like, "You guys don't want me to make this movie, do you?" And they said, "No, Tim. If you want to make it, we want you to make it. But we just thought maybe there's something else on your plate you'd rather do instead." He's like, No. I'm getting the vibe. Clearly, you guys do not want me to make this movie. And he's like, okay, well, fine, whatever. He obviously was hurt by it, but at that point, what was he going to do? He'd rather do something else. So he did. But yeah.
There you go. By the way, are you sure Billy Dee Williams did get killed in Nighthawks? Could not be reached. I could have swore he got killed in that.
I thought he did. Maybe not. It's been about 2 years since I watched it.
Partner, and he was wearing a Superman shirt.
He is in it. He is Stallone's partner.
But I could have swore he got killed in that thing. But I trust.
Maybe he didn't.
Could that be reached? All
I know is Stallone's dressed like a woman in it.
Yes, at the end there with Lindsay Wagner was his girlfriend.
And it was hilarious because it is not even remotely convincing.
Yep. Was it Rutger Hauer was cool in that one?
Rutger Hauer. Yeah, he was the bad guy. Yeah, I saw that like a year or two ago. It's not that long ago.
I saw
Truth,
it
Hope, Love.
Theater. There you go.
I'm trying to remember if Billy D got killed in it or not. Maybe not.
I could have swore he did, but I guess not.
Truth, Hope, Love sends in 5 and says, I remember the first Black Power Ranger was annoyed when people called the role racist. Well, it was kind of silly for them to make him the Black Ranger. That was a little on the nose. They should have had him be like the green or the yellow or something else, you know. But anyway, Bad News Badger.
About that.
It was black on black.
Bad News Badger just sends in 20 Danish krona to say shit.
I agree with that. No one could say it better.
Truth, Hope, Love sends in 5 and says, say what you want about Morgan Freeman, but he didn't make the point that there shouldn't be a Black History Month and stop talking about racism. We were actually praising Morgan for that very thing, is that he's another one that I would clump in with the group, like I said, that rose above their race, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're not defined by being a Black actor. They're just defined by being a great actor. Truth, Hope, Love says, had this thought about a Roger Rabbit sequel involving the censored 11 type of character who fights back against the overly preachy Spike Lee types. Interesting.
That fits since the book that the movie's based on. The actual title was Who Censored Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, it's true. Magnus Thoth sends in $20. Thank you so much. Says, thank you for recommending the obscurest vinyl channel. It's time to take a shit on the company dime. Told you you'd like it. Will be stuck in my head for weeks. Yeah, they got some pretty funny songs on there, but the glued my balls to my butthole is definitely the single to beat now. But yeah, speaking of Sly and Nighthawks and all that business, that's actually leads us nicely into our second topic of the night. I don't know if you even planned it that way, but
yeah, we planned it that way.
Sylvester Stallone is under some fire right now, and I would say actively trying to be canceled by some cancel pigs. So I'm going to try and get everybody up to speed here on what this is all about. Andre and I are actually working on a video, but you're going to get the crash course in that video right now. Basically, this started in a Facebook group room when some extras who claimed to have worked on the set of Tulsa King said that they felt it was a toxic environment. And a lot of people were talking about what happened on there. Now, here's my thing with this. I don't know if we're actually getting firsthand information. So according to this Rose Lock agency that provides extra, so here's what's going on. Supposedly, Sylvester Stallone badmouthed some extras that were on the set of the show. This got out there. It caused a big stir. Rose Lock quit the production. And they put a statement out saying, I've been informed of certain things that happened on Thursday. I came the second day, Friday, to see what's happening. Rose Lock allegedly wrote, bless you, in a post that was shared via screenshot. At the end of the day, I resigned because it was a clear toxic environment that I was not comfortable putting myself or my background artists in. I'll finish out this coming week and someone will take over. I want to apologize for anything you experienced. I would also like you to text me what you experienced, saw, or heard. I'll be sending the info to HR. So what this is they're setting this up for a big, going after the show because of supposedly Sly saying, and I quote, these are supposedly what he said, what the fuck is up with these fucking ugly background actors? That tabloid, the fat guy with the cane, bring some young girls in to be around me. Okay, I believe he didn't say any of that shit. Because as this news has started to permeate round and round and round, according to this person who was right behind Sly at the time, and this is just allegedly, I was there right behind Mr. Stallone. He shouted to the director, come over here. Lots of F-bombs dropped. Stallone was very upset of the look of the background actors. Said they were hideous and old and fat. Next thing, people are being told to go back to holding, and younger people were brought in. Now, I don't see anywhere there where he says anything about bringing in pretty young girls. I see, that's the part that stuck out to me. It's like you threw that in there just to make him sound bad.
Mm-hmm. I don't.
The director's name has yet not been mentioned, by the way. And there's supposedly a screenshot, but I haven't seen this screenshot. And TMZ's involved too, of course they are. But I think people are saying it's this Zisk guy. But anyway.
The moment people use the word toxic, they lose all credibility for me.
Yeah.
Like, forget it.
I mean, it just sounds like it's a good time that I want to hang out at. Like, where's my invite? Seriously.
Have you guys seen the show?
I saw the first 3 episodes. I did like it. I just sadly, I just lost track of it because
anybody
my life
else
is crazy. I heard it finished off great from many people though. Many people told me it finished off great. So,
because I love this show, it was great. They're working on the 2nd season now. That's what's going on. But this was one of the scenes that floated around just to kind of give you an idea of what kind of show this was. Because this was not a woke show.
What's
I've
going
heard that.
between
Thankfully,
nowadays? Does that mean like your generation? Seriously, come on. And these pronouns. What the fuck is with the pronouns? She, him, they, the, boom, bang, bop, bang, cool. You know what my pronoun is? Yes. Time's up. It, as in it, can't take this shit anymore.
They don't. So somebody doesn't want a season 2 of the show.
So yeah, so this show is under fire. Not only that, you guys remember a couple weeks ago when Sly basically said, "I'm leaving LA and I ain't coming back to that shithole."
Yeah, I heard about that.
There's a coinky dink.
I think these all are coordinated. Yeah, sure. So yes, as it comes out in this new version of the story from the Hollywood Reporter that I was just sharing here, I'll bring it back up on screen because this was actually the latter version of the story that came out. The production actually did come out. Where'd it go here? Where was it? It was in here somewhere unless they took it out. Okay, I think this is it right here. Claimed that Locke told extras supposed to be young and hip, but the background actors who showed up were older. Okay, so Zisk is the director then on the scene. Okay. So they did come back out, and they reported that because they came back and said that this was a bunch of horse shit. So this was their statement on this. Zisk claims that they told that the actors were supposed to be young and hip. The actors who showed up were old. Zisk said he used the actors for the scene anyway, and they were polite and did their jobs. But afterward, told Locke she'd need to submit photos of actors moving forward, leading to a dispute. That's the way I work, and everyone I know works that way in extras casting, Zisk reportedly told her. In addition, another background actor claimed that they were to shoot to say didn't observe anything unusual. I observed nothing out of the ordinary, nothing different any other of the other background acting experiences I had involved, wrote one. I noticed nothing out of the ordinary on set, added another. So that's 2 people going against that. One of the directors was a bit feisty with his let's be quiet or keep it down so we can work, yet I have heard that on every set, not a big deal. And a third, there were some remarks made that I personally heard things could have been handled more tactfully, but it's their show. See, now, and there's another version of the story, because I was trying to find the rest of this. Because also they were saying that in this very scene, it was actually a scene that was being shot. I'm trying to find it, because I thought it was in this version of the story, but I guess it's not. But the version of the scene that was being shot was actually a callback to a scene or a flashback to a scene from season 1. So I guess they sent the wrong extras over was the other problem. Because they needed the same extras back. Yeah.
This is a show where Stallone has some level of creative control, right?
Yes.
Okay, because the way you're reading this, it does feel like he would be completely within his rights to exercise some creative discretion. That if things aren't quite the way he envisions it, he might have something to say about that.
Let me refine. I'd like to refine what you're saying, Cece. I just want to. Yeah. I think I have a more eloquent way of putting it. He's Sylvester Stallone, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants on that set. Yeah. And these dumb fucking idiots can go fuck themselves.
There you go.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think Sly is
Sorry,
like.
Cece, go on.
No, go ahead, Cece. Yeah, you're right.
If he was like that, I'd be like thumbs up. Yeah, man, that's great. I don't see that as toxic. I'm not going to even use that. I wouldn't go to HR about it, but I can see how people would. They'd get their feelings hurt. He still owes a professional, and if he's got creative control over a show that he's working on, then he's the boss. He's fucking Sylvester Stallone.
I don't think Sly said anything.
I'll bet he didn't, and they probably
sounds like the director's taste
something harmless, and they probably interpret it as that because, well, I interpret it that way. Because how people be like that, and I'm sure it's like that in Hollywood. Well, that's not what I got out of it. One of those type of people. They need something in their head, so they imagine what something means to them, even if it's direct as an arrow, straight as an arrow, but they're going to interpret it as something else because they just need it to be true in their head. So they make up what something means to them versus what something actually is.
I'll go as far as to say this sounds like a all-out cancel campaign on this show and Sly, because the director is taking. I didn't mean to do that, but right here in this final version that I was reading here, it's the director taking all the responsibility for this entire thing. And these other guys, their story is lining up more with this than this. Here. And it even sounds like the director took the person aside because none of these other people are talking about it. Sounds to me like this person who's bitching and pissing and moaning probably had a bunch of her fucking friends all come together and make this story up. I'm going to go
easy enough to
say
do
that.
No, I mean, it's like he like I'll even take a middle ground here and say maybe he had a creative difference with the casting choices, but he was professional about it, and somebody completely twisted it.
No, I say otherwise. I think if he would have shown up and he expected that in this scene there's young women around him in the scene, and he sees a bunch of what he considered or said even was old fat slobs, even if he said it, I don't think there's an issue. He has a business to run. That's a set. There's things are happening on it, and it's a creative decision. And if they were supposed to send young actors there that are hip, and they sent a bunch of old fat people, and he thought that wasn't right for the scene, he's allowed to say it. And all these people pretending that they've never done this work before or they don't know how it works. I mean, what do you think people hire them? What do you think people hire them for? It's not even for their acting skills. They're just standing in the background doing nothing. I know it's a profession, and I'm not knocking it, but basically they hire people that have certain looks. I had a friend that worked in this field, and sometimes when they needed a guy that looks like he's a businessman, he has nice hair, he looks like a decent guy, they used to bring this guy because he had that look. If he was 500 pounds more and 20 years older, they probably wouldn't hire him.
And you're right. In fact, background actors are supposed to do nothing. If you get one who draws too much attention to the camera, they don't get work again, right?
Yeah,
they're not a good background actor. You're
well, and that's what I'm saying. I don't even know if Sly said anything, and if he did, it was creatively, and he's probably bringing it up because they're being distracting. Because you even have this, and here's the thing that I'm saying is this director is taking all the blame. At no point in this interaction that he's saying the Sly involved at all. Now he might just be keeping Sly's name out of it. I'll keep that into consideration. But now you have these other people that worked as background actors saying the only thing that was said was, quiet on the set so we can get shit done, which is normal.
Yeah.
So they didn't see any of this shit go down. So my guess is this director took her off to the side, this lock person or him or whoever the hell it is. I think it's a her from reading here. Told him this shit that you sent us the wrong fucking people. From now on, I want pictures ahead of time because I can't trust you to follow my directions. That's what I'm reading here from this. This is all. This has nothing to do with the actors. It has everything to do with whoever this fucking lock person is from the Rose. What is it? The Rose Lock. Yeah, Rose Lock. Her. She's actually here.
Do the same
so it's
thing.
her agency. Sorry, this fucking thing does this to me every time. So this Rose Lock person,
reasonable.
Yeah, was not doing her fucking job, or her agency wasn't doing their fucking job, and they're claiming it was a toxic environment. Why? So they can probably get out of some contract and cancel the show at the same time because Sly is one of the most famous, harder to cancel conservatives. That's why.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Nuts.
People. Like I said, I'm sure all this, I would not be surprised if this is a work of fiction Completely. Once again, these are the types of people where they create scenarios in their head, as our friend of the channel, Eric July likes to say, these people need a dragon to slay. And if that dragon ain't there, they will create one in their head so that it is there. They always need one there because, well, without them, they have no personality trait.
And the only context we have is more so from the director's side of things here. And he just says the extras are supposed to be young and hip. Well, how do we know that the scene wasn't in some fucking nightclub? What the hell is some fat dude with a cane who's 80 years old doing in a goddamn nightclub? Right? Like, we don't know. And that's what I'm seeing here is more or less that this company got called out for their bullshittery because they're trying to DEI up the background actors and the director and Sly are like, that's not what I fucking asked for.
You know, I even briefly tried to get into background acting. Now, I can't say I have a ton of experience with it, but what I did observe is that you have hundreds of people who are part of like an organization that picks these actors, right? Everyone has headshots, and you just have this gigantic pile of headshots. And what they'll literally do is they'll look at one and just like one pile to the next, and you're looking for the person who looks like what you want in the scene, right? You're not casting for the best talented actor. You're casting for the headshots. And if you got an organization that's, you know, going out of their way to pick the wrong people because they fit check boxes. Okay.
Well, that's what I'm seeing, CC, because here's how this works, right? Like, a production does not have time to do what you just said. They don't have time to go through 100,000 headshots and a dozen resumes to pick out background actors. So they'll usually either put out an open call, or they'll work with one of these companies like Rose Lock, where they tell you, like, okay, we're doing this scene on this day. We need a bunch of young and hip looking extras. And what they did is send them a bunch of DEI replacements. That's what I'm seeing here. Because that's what their job is supposed to be. It's like when you call in and say, we need a group of bikers, they send over a bunch of bikers. Or guys that look like bikers, you know what I mean? Like, that's their job.
Right.
You hire a company that has all of these
so you don't have to do the work for exactly. So you don't have to do it because it's a lot of work and a lot of time and effort.
And you expect them to pick bikers. But if they start sending you purple hair holdos, and suddenly like 8 out of 10 of your bikers are female and the other 2 are they.
That's what I'm getting at.
Got purple hair. It's like, dude, I asked you for bikers.
Yeah, but don't you want a more diverse biker group? No, I want a bunch of fucking buff, fat, white dudes with beards. Like, what the fuck? And that's what I'm getting at here, is they probably specifically asked for something. They didn't get what they ordered, right? Like, this is going into a fucking restaurant and going, I want a Whopper with fries, and they bring me a fish sandwich with a salad. And I'm like, that's not what I fucking ordered. They're like, yeah, but this is more better for you. I'm like, I didn't ask for what was better for me. I paid you for what I wanted and give it to me now. You know, that's kind of what I'm hearing out of this situation. I don't see Sly being any part of this outside of the creative side of this, especially if it's a flashback scene and they were supposed to send specific actors back or something like that, which is another version of the story I heard, which is what caused the whole stir in the first place. So they had specific actors that had worked for them before that they specifically asked for to come back because it's a flashback scene to a scene that happened in the first season, is what I was told from Mr. H, from a version of the story that he had read. So that in and of itself tells me that they didn't really read the directions. So yeah, that's my take of the scenario. I don't know what you guys think about it. I'm gonna open the floor
with every bit
again.
of that. I agree with every bit of that, man.
I mean, you're not gonna really get any contrarian takes on here. I mean,
I could be completely wrong, but I don't see, in all the years that Sly has worked, have we ever heard anything like this?
No, it is more than likely a work of fiction or even staged. It's just they're trying once again. This is obviously Tulsa King is not the show that they want it to be. So maybe they could be trying to stir things up to now you get rid of him or get rid of the show completely because, well, a guy like that who's got history and legacy to him, that's bad. Show that attacks their ideology, that's bad. That's like attacking their religion. So yeah, they're gonna do whatever. These people are gonna work overtime. So unless someone really fights for this show and Stallone, then I don't know where it's gonna go.
Well, it only takes one Cryborg, but it also takes whoever controls that the show goes on to say, all right, get out of here, Cryborg, and the show will be better for
Cryborg creates more Cryborgs.
Well, I don't know what they expect to happen here. I mean, I know they're gonna. This is what I see them basically doing at this point. This is my opinion, and I don't know if you guys agree or disagree. And the reason why I see them making this whole thing up is because they're trying to save their own image here, because they know they fucked up. That's the way I see it. They knew they were supposed to send certain actors, and they didn't. Whether it was for DEI reasons, whether it was they didn't read the directions, whether it was they just did it because they did it this way, whatever it was, they got called out for their bullshit. And of course, what is the first thing that one of these fuckers jumps to as soon as they're called out on their bullshit? Oh, it's a toxic, racist, misogynistic environment.
As soon as you hear the word toxic, it's over. It's
exactly my point. Yes.
If they're using that word, like you guys said, nah, it's over.
The thing for me is I don't actually believe it, but I'm saying, like, if we're going by worst case scenario, let's just say, and I don't believe it, he went and he said these guys are the wrong people, they're fat, they're old, they shouldn't be here. Even then, he has the right to say that because he's been on enough sets and enough movies, and he knows what's supposed to be in that scene. Even if he did the worst case scenario and he did all of that, I still don't care.
I still don't either. He's not doing anything right. He has a vision for the show, how he sees things fit. And because he sees that, he's trying to adhere to that vision. Stallone's not on top of it. He's not like just any actor who's just trying to take up the director or writer part just because he is under hotshot. Like a lot of people forget, like he also has a history of directing and writing. He has ideas he brings to the table for his projects. So why is this going to be any different? He knows what he's doing. He's doing these things. And Tom, you and I talk about all the time. Every time we talk about Stallone movie and Toxic Tuesday, he never gets the proper credit for being a great writer and director because he knows how to adhere to those things. He knows how to keep a story going, continuity. He understands all those elements. And that's probably why he still has it to this day, because he understands the formula of a good story.
Yeah, I mean, whether you like him or not, which I like him, I think he's directed iconic, whether blockbuster or iconic movies or whatever you want to call it. I think that dismissing his opinion, and if he thinks the wrong extras are there, let's just say he said something like that. I wouldn't dismiss that opinion at all. And I highly doubt that he came and personally started defending people personally. Maybe he said to somebody, these guys are all wrong. We needed young women here. You brought a bunch of old fatzos. Even if he said that, and I was there, I'd probably chuckle. And if I was one of those old fatzos in the background, I'd know that I'm an old fatso, and I'd chuckle too.
Well, and even if he did, and I agree with you, Price. Yeah. Like, let's say for the sake of argument, he did. He's saying it not because he's trying to be mean, but because he's like, hey, yo, I'm in this club. There should be a bunch of young people dancing and shit. What's this old fuck over here? Hey, look at this fat guy.
That's what he called it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I'm going to my trailer. And that's the thing is Sly don't need this, right? He's said this in so many ways in so many interviews. This for him is an experiment. They really had to talk him into doing season 2 because he wasn't even sure about doing another season because to him doing television is so different from a movie. Like he was talking about how the hours are so much more than he's not used to, and it's so much more staying in character for so much long. It's a different experience for him than going in for a month or two doing a movie and then going on to something else, right? So this is months of his life. And then here's another chunk of his life. And then you got this shit on top of it all. This is why he's leaving LA probably. He's had enough of this shit.
But it's totally not an echo chamber in LA. It's totally not.
The guy is 77 years old. You know what? At 77, he goes every day to that set, does a thing where he plays a role that he's very kind of animated. If you watch the first season, this is not a kind of role that you're just sitting on a couch and talking to a few people. He's walking around, he's doing stuff, he's physical at 77 years old, and he's doing everything, and he's the most professional. And they bring a few extras that are the wrong for the scene. And if he says something, even if he said it, I think that he's earned it. He can say it, and at 77 years old, I wouldn't give a shit about anything either.
How's it any different than when Schwarzenegger used to go around calling people tubby? Well, you need to work out. Look at you. Look at the flyer.
Shut up.
Shut up with the flyer.
You.
And he was very chummy with the ladies, Schwarzenegger, from what I
Oh
recall.
yeah,
I
I mean,
it's a
one of them-
countdown
one of
for
them
him to
was
get canceled.
One of them was the maid at the house.
Well, he's been accused of worse shit already, but he's just managed to skate it. But look, if you guys haven't seen this show yet, do yourselves a favor. It is a great fucking
I'll
show.
make sure I finish it.
I've said it. I don't know if y'all agree with me who have seen it here, because it sounds like you've seen it, Price, and you've seen a few episodes, Nick.
I liked it.
I liked what I saw. I do want to finish it. I do intend to finish the show.
This show basically feels like the only way you could do a GTA series or movie. Like, this feels like Grand Theft Auto, the show. Like, I want this Grand Theft Auto game. You know what I mean? Because Sly just kind of comes into town like a Grand Theft Auto character. He literally just does shit that you would get away with in a video game, and only in a video game. I mean, there's a reason why the show is called Tulsa King, but I mean, it goes so far that it almost is satire. Not quite, but almost is satire. But it's great. It's just like, basically, it's a real simple plot. It's this old school mafia guy who did his time, didn't snitch at the head guys out. And what does he get for doing that? He gets shoved to bumfuck nowhere Tulsa. So from there is the whole setup. I don't want to ruin anything else from there. That's just the basic outline of this. So you got this, over the hill, grizzled, old mafia dude who's been in prison since like the 90s. And he gets thrusted into this world. On top of it all, gets sent to bumfuck Egypt, nowhere, backwater America.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
He just takes over the fucking town.
Owen has a good habit of taking over towns and a lot of the things that he does. He's a good one-man army, like, even though he has an army here, but in a lot of things he has a way of taking out towns. It almost seems like, it's just my Monday afternoon.
Yes.
We'll get some donuts, we'll take out the town.
It reminded me a lot. That's what I'm saying, D-Bud. Like, this felt like the tone, the character feels like somebody you'd pluck right out of a GTA storyline. Like, the characters surrounding him feel like GTA characters. Like, it's like Taylor Sheridan was like playing GTA, and he's like, I'm gonna come up with my own GTA. Because Sly he just does shit, right? It's like with absolutely no sense of consequence whatsoever in the show. And it's hilarious. It's great. You guys should check it out. I don't want to say any more than that, but
I can just imagine if someone goes up to Sloan, we're at to cancel. So nothing is over. Nothing. We're continuing the show.
Nothing is over. Just turn off Tulsa King. Tulsa King turns you off. Yeah, GTA Tulsa, exactly. Wow, we got 800 people watching. Hit that like button if you haven't already. There was, I guess, one other topic we can discuss if you guys really want it.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Let's do it.
Are you guys looking forward to the Acolyte shit?
At least you titled it right. At least you titled it right. Acolyte shit.
Yeah. Are
you ready for some Jedi foo?
I wish it was just a sizzle reel.
Yeah, I know, right?
I guess Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, there you go, CC, because they bring in Carrie Ann Moss for an episode and tell her, can't you just be
for an episode? Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing here. I'll get to that in
all
just a
the
second.
Advertisement is about Carrie Ann Moss being the big highlight of this show.
She's the only actress that a few people knows who should know who she is. I mean, I don't even know who all those other weirdos are.
Okay, well, she knows Force Foo, according to this. And they basically told her to come in and just play Trinity. See, very much inspired by Trinity.
Oh, my God. And
then Mr. H is the one who noticed this. In her statement, let me see if I can find it here. No. Anyway, basically, the basic of it is she says that she had a fun time training for the fight, indicating she only has one fight. Okay, even though the show's supposed to be built on all the action. So Mr. H did some digging, and she's only listed for one episode, the first one, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, CC, my estimation is they only have her for one episode.
That would be pure Kathleen Kennedy, though.
It also shows
I
you
can
that how much they could barely afford Carrie Ann Moss.
Maybe they only had it. All the other actors are kind of I don't want to say nobodies, but I don't know who they are. So I feel like she would cost more.
It seemed like she did start, like, for a while she wasn't getting work. It seemed like after Jessica Jones, she started getting some work again. Hey, good for her. Obviously, she's definitely a really good aspect of the first Matrix movie, but something tells me this is not a right fit for her. No disrespect to Ms. Moss, but this role does. I mean, granted, I know it's just an image, but this doesn't seem like the right fit for her.
This is a check collecting role. She was told she gets a check. She showed up and she left.
Yep.
Well, in that regard, I hope she's genuinely happy. And I mean that. I mean that with the most sincere respect. I hope it was a good check.
Yepper.
Because this thing is going to be a huge bomb. I mean, man. I feel like straight up the only people on planet Earth that are going to watch it are probably going to be the last remaining of the shills, and then the drinkers and maulers and Midnight's Edges of the world. It's come down to those guys. That's who it's come down to. Other than that, it's like, oh boy,
I want to watch the show.
I don't want you to watch it either.
You have to, Tom. You don't have to watch it, do you? Because even I'm not.
Mr. H is forcing me to.
Oh no!
Not. Wait a minute. Andre's not, but he is.
Oh, Andre hasn't said yet.
Oh, Andre's not.
I usually just pull the Geneva Convention on Andre, and that works.
Andre's not going to watch this.
No. That's why I'll get lucky, is he don't give a shit. But Mr. H wants to talk about it, so I'm like, God damn.
You know who is going to watch it?
Who, you?
The greatest YouTuber of all time.
Mexican Iron Man. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant Grace Randolph.
Oh, well, okay. She's the second greatest, but he's the greatest.
I'm going to watch it, not because it's good, but because I'm going to make a video about every episode. I did that on Ahsoka, and it was awful. And there was something relaxing about doing the videos because it was so bad. And I think this may happen with this show, too.
I watched Ahsoka for some reason. Go ahead. Sorry.
Why'd you watch Ahsoka?
Because I don't know. I wanted to see what was happening with the Rebels characters. I actually did used to watch Rebels, so I watched it for the curiosity. It was a mistake. I admit it.
There's a lot of people who liked Rebels who didn't enjoy Ahsoka. I'm
not proud of myself.
I liked it too. It just it came at a time that was before
I
the Last
Rebels
Jedi.
Was all right.
And,
yeah.
There was a little more hope. At that
it was an
time.
okay show, but
it was an animated show. There was
moments.
nothing. There were nothing at stake there. It was fine for whatever it was.
Yeah. But I watched it out of a little bit of curiosity, but about some of the Rebels characters. But it was a mistake. I admit it. It was.
It wasn't a mistake for me. I made videos and people watched them.
I understand, but I don't. So I was.
Okay. If you don't make videos, then you don't need to watch.
I watched 12 minutes of the first episode, and I couldn't take it anymore.
It's a piece of garbage.
I don't know. You know what I'd rather do than watch this show?
Just
pluck your eyebrows.
You could probably put this music to the show.
I'd rather glue my balls to my butthole than watch this fucking show.
Oh, I can't blame you.
Which one's gonna do worse, this or Rebel Moon Part 2?
Ooh, what's close?
Right? It might actually be evenly matched.
Rebel Moon, probably.
This has Rebel Moon. Ooh,
this has name recognition.
Which one?
Wait, are they dumping all the Acolyte episodes in one day, or are they doing it over time?
I doubt it. They don't do that.
If it's every week, the damage is going to be bigger to the Acolyte.
Yeah. Usually they do weekly. So.
If they do weekly, it's going to be a festival of cringe and them being humiliated for like 2 months or whatever it is. Whereas with Rebel Moon, it'll just come and go. It'll release Snyder will say, do you know that over the world, so many billions of people watched it? And then a few people will then use a sound bite. So Snyder Bros will be happy and everybody will forget about it the next day. Whereas Acolyte is going to be an ongoing thing with memes and laughter. And I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Snyder has Snyder Bros. So like he's already kind of bottomed out because whoever is still watching Snyder is probably always going to watch Snyder.
Right.
I mean, and Star Wars is bottomed out pretty hard, but there's all these moments. There was Last Jedi, sure. But there was Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that was huge.
They have Raylos.
I do wonder how much that George Lucas statement also will have torn a bunch of people off and just bottomed it out even further, because that I mean, I think that did hit pretty hard. That's George Lucas just saying, yay, Disney Star Wars is awesome.
It's gonna be the Snyder Bros versus the Raylos.
I think Disney Star Wars is faster and more intense. Only some people get that joke.
What do you think George thinks of Turtles?
I got the joke.
They're faster and more intense.
Okay.
That's what he would tell the actors.
Faster, more intense.
That's his direction.
He'd be a great porn director too.
Yes, finally he would get some emotion out of his.
I mean, Lucas does make private films. So he knows what he's done on the ranch.
Oh Lord.
Jesus. Oh crap. Yeah, Acolyte. No, thanks. I'm sure it's going to be scintillating.
Mm-hmm.
And what's that new? What's that animated thing? Something of some new Fempire or whatever. What is it called again?
Fempire? What?
Yeah, Tales of the Fempire. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got Thrawn in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Force is female.
It's about two wronged strong females in the Fempire. Yeah.
In Fempire. Yeah.
Wow.
Victims. The victim. I can see the victimhood seething from that show.
Yeah, I cannot wait to miss it. Can't wait.
Oh man. I wonder how the bomb is gonna be even bigger. How do they follow up this bomb? Because when the Acolyte bombs, because it will.
Oh, yeah.
How do you top that bomb? How do you think? Oh man, we need to have the next show that'll do even worse than this show.
The Jude Law show, and I like Jude Law, but
whatever
the name of that thing is, the Lost in Space Star Wars thing.
Which one?
Whatever the attention the Acolyte has, that show I can't even remember the name of right now. It's probably even worse.
Jude Law. Was he on some show?
Jude Law sounds like a show.
Yeah, it does sound like a show. It does.
He was on
Skeleton Crew. There it is. Somebody in the chat got it.
That's being made.
It's Jude Law and a bunch of kids lost in space and
yeah.
Star Wars. Now, I would love for that to be amazing because it could be, but it won't be, and nobody's going to care. About it.
You're talking about Jude Law
not
working
a chance
with a bunch of kids in modern day Star Wars. It's not going to be good.
Hey, Jude.
Don't make it better.
This property is, and it's something a lot of people need to come to grips with.
And make it better.
Of people
Jude
who
Law.
don't care about this. They have no desire to change. They are willing to put Lucasfilm, Disney out of business. They will straight up do that than to change, because to them, it's no skin off their back. They just see it as, well, they'll just move on to the next thing that they screw up. They don't care to make it better. They are committed
and make it better.
Remember
to let her under your skin, and then you begin
to make this shit shittier.
Shittier. Oh yeah. In a galaxy far, far away.
The show sucks.
Hey.
Show.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far, far away.
Awful.
The show so gay. Sorry.
It's
Oh, that was great.
And that gets it. And that's the show, kids. I don't know if we can top that.
No.
Then I gluing my balls to my butthole again. I don't know if we can.
Would you
Nicky
rather
D sends in $5. I had $5 once. And the tax man took it. Because I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man. I'll take all of Nick's money if I can. Fuckers. They took all my cocaine money. I didn't know I was supposed to pay taxes on it. Import tax? What the fuck is that?
Oh.
Niggity. Just paid me. That makes me a professional actor. Say. Faster! Get more intense. See how I did that? I did the intense part is faster! I said more intense, really. Down here. That's what you call acting. I can do it again. Faster. More intense. That way you can use whichever one you want.
I can't.
Is that it? Somebody say cut and print.
Oh crap!
I know. I just got a heart attack. I couldn't breathe for a
Tax
second.
man.
Oh. Oh.
And there we go. There's the clapboard. Yeah.
Let Nick breathe so he doesn't completely keel over.
And I actually mean it. I couldn't breathe.
Well, I'll help that.
Oh, God. Oh, shit. Oh, it hurt. I'm sorry.
Shame on me. Twice. Shame on me. I need a karaoke version of this.
That could be arranged.
Oh, God. All right, with that, Clappy, what you got going on? I know you got a few shows coming up eventually.
Oh, well, tomorrow night, I don't know if Loki's going to do a roundtable or not, but I'll be there if he does. And then my wild card tomorrow night, and Thursday night, the Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark, Blake 7 reviews, and Kolchak Night Stalker reviews, Star Trek comic review, and all that stuff. And then Friday on my my buddy Jamie's channel, we're reviewing. We started reviewing all of Kirby's run on the Fantastic Four, and then Saturday night Star Trek for what we talk about Star Trek sometimes.
Awesome.
But
So
actually,
awesome.
every time. Thank you.
I would imagine since it's called Saturday Night Star Trek.
We tried it, to do that, to talk about something.
Have you ever talked about Galaxy Quest though? I guess that would be the.
We're actually I would do that soon. Actually, if people want us to do that after we finish reviewing all of Real Trek, so it might
has been adopted. So
I do love that movie. Yes, sir.
I like that one too. Excellent. Sounds good. Check that out. And CC, I know we got Friday Okie. What else we got coming up?
That's it. Friday night is the live stream that I host each week with Tom, Price of Reason, and a dragon. We sing karaoke late night on Fridays here on YouTube, and we also broadcast on X.
Excellent. And also we have Price. What you got going on? I think you got a show. Was it Thursday, or do you have one coming up here? You gonna do a late night stream?
After this thing, there's a channel called Diabolical Souls, and at 10 p.m. Eastern, we're watching Scavenger's Reign episode. I can't remember which episode it is, but it is a good episode, and we're watching it and discussing it. Then there's going to be something called The Night Owl with Dread Roberts, and that'll be at 11:45 p.m. So that's all happening today.
Nice. Nick, I know you're going to be talking about some Black Thunder and White Lightning.
Oh Oh yeah, part 2 of our Burt Reynolds month tonight in less than an hour. Toxic Tuesday, come hang out. We're going for a little bit of a deeper cut from the Reynolds catalog, and then we're gonna be going right back up to some of the bigger hits in the upcoming weeks. But yeah, White Lightning it is tonight. Toxic Tuesday, come hang out. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be retarded. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be a little homoerotic as well. This was a good show to be a part of as always. Thanks for having me, Tom.
Excellent. And yeah, so this is the movie you're going to be watching tonight, right? Black Hammer, White Lightning. Starring Willie Mays Hayes.
Willie Mays Hayes is
Black Hammer. Bonnie Ventura is White Lightning.
Bonnie Ventura is White Lightning.
Yes.
Oh, he
shot him in the ass.
Mine fell the hardest. Mine is the dentist. These guys play for keeps. Black Hammer.
White Lightning. That's what you're watching tonight, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Burt Reynolds is in that? I didn't know.
I've never seen this.
It's another one of his movies without his mustache.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, that White Lightning. There's a few White Lightnings out there. There's
all joking aside, that of course is from Major League 2 for anybody. What is that? But yeah, no, I was just having a little fun. No, they're talking about the Burt Reynolds classic, and this will lead you over there after this. I have the movie. I'm sorry, Nick, I didn't get my homework done.
That's okay.
I got homework from Andre.
I'll let you know about next week's in the private chat.
I think I already know what it is, but yeah. Oh, that one will definitely be there for us, so don't worry about that. The next two for sure.
All right.
Oh,
those I've seen enough times I can almost.
Claudia, if you want to come on for any of them, you know what to do.
I appreciate the invite, but I love both of them, especially the second one you mentioned.
Pick. Well, then take your pick, former
that
or latter.
Second one you mentioned is I dearly love.
Okay, you're in. You're in for the you're in for the week after then. Cool. Done.
Okay.
But all right, kids. So I'll send you guys over to Nick Weiser's after this, and take care of yourselves and each other. And whatever you do, don't glue your balls to your butthole again.
Never.
We need to make credits with this. Nick Weiser did not actually glue his balls to his butthole. Shame on you. Only twice. Shame on you. Like the fuck was. Good night, kids. I'm blocking out my butthole. That sucks.